Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing good.
Good. And did you find the place all right?
Yeah, it was a little difficult, but I found my way around the building, so.
Okay, good. And did you have a chance to go over the paperwork that you were sent prior to the session?
Yes.
Okay, good. Any questions about that right now?
No.
Good. There was one thing I wanted to go over with you to make sure that you understood it fully and that there won't be any issues later, and that is the matter of confidentiality. So, this is a safe place for you to say anything you feel or express any concerns you have. Anything we say in these meetings will be between us and won't leave this room. But there are some limits to that. If I feel that at any point you are a risk to yourself or at risk to harm anyone else, I would have to break confidentiality. If I am subpoenaed by a court, I would have to break confidentiality. Or if there is any instance where I have to discuss what we talk about with a colleague or supervisor just to get another opinion, I would, of course, keep your identity anonymous. And in any of these instances, I would discuss it with you first to make sure that you're all right and that we don't have any problems. All right?
Okay.
Okay, awesome. So, have you ever had therapy before?
No, this is my first time.
Okay. It's normal to be a little nervous in the beginning. We will be working together. I am not a magic tool. I will not just make your problems go away. We will have to work together to reach your goals, and we will set goals together here that aren't as too overwhelming for you. We will make sure that they are reachable and that we can work together to reach those goals in a acceptable time span. I want to say, but therapy does take time. You won't be all better in like 2-3 sessions. I want to make sure that we have time to process everything and that you walk out of here really knowing and being confident in reaching those goals. Okay?
Okay.
So, let's get started. What led you to consider counseling?
Oh gosh. Well, I'm in school again, and just overall just struggling with balance at the moment. With relationships at home, relationships here at school, and really trying to like put myself out there because I'm really an introverted person, but I'm also an extrovert. Like if I get into a certain group of people, so just finding that I'm not living on campus anymore, so I'm really finding that like I'm going back within my shell and like just not doing anything, and I'm kind of starting to see that take like a little bit of a toll on me, like my mental health. So I just need to find the balance again.
Okay. So you're saying that you're having problems like relationships outside school, relationships in school, and just a general kind of feeling of social isolation.
Yeah.
Is what I'm getting? Okay. Is there anything in those things that you would want to prioritize that you think might be the one issue that would lead you to increase all the others as well?
So I think definitely like maybe like the social isolation or the relationships like within like school.
Okay. And there doesn't have to be a separation between the school relationships and the personal relationships,
Mm-hmm.
Your school friends can be your outside school friends, of course. And this has been an issue since you started school?
It was kind of an issue the last like couple years, but I'm feeling it more this year, and just like not knowing who to reach out to, not wanting to like burden my other friends with drama. So like, yeah, it's just been a lot in the past year, and I know like everybody else is going through stuff, so I don't want to be like that burden. So I like tend to apologize like when I reach out to people, and they're just like, no, it's fine, and I'm like, but it's really not because I know you're going through stuff. So like then I pull back because I'm like, okay, I know my friends are starting school again, and I'm like, I'm having trouble. I can't really reach out to them because they might be having trouble. So I've just kind of like pulled back, and I haven't really talked to anybody about it.
So it's less of an issue of you not wanting to communicate with other people. It's more you feeling that you're a burden
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah.
Was there anything that set that off?
Uh, I don't like have a lot of close like relationships because I kind of talk too much and I kind of like self-disclose, and I've noticed that the relationships that I've had, they haven't been able to carry through the years. So
Okay.
I've kind of just going through school and like learning more about myself. Like I've noticed I've like pulled too far back into where
Huh.
like it's not it's not a problem yet, but it could become a problem. So I'm just wanting to kind of like stop that now and like try to figure out how I can get back to a happy medium between the two.
Okay. So a happy medium between keeping to yourself and having that alone time, but also being a social person,
Yeah.
talking to people, interacting with people in your classes.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything in like a class, anyone in a class that you've like potentially looked at as like, I could connect with this person, I could talk to them more and more, but you've kind of held yourself back?
Maybe, yeah. I kind of tend to do that in classes where I'm like, I could be friends with that person, but I'm like, maybe not. And then, like, we don't have really, like, any outside connectors outside of that. So, like, I've thought about reaching out to people in class, but I'm kind of just like, no, because, like, I know I'm not, like, in a good spot right now, so I don't want to drag more people
Okay.
into that.
So you don't want to be a burden to other people because you know they're dealing with their own things, but you also don't want to include other people and make them feel like they're having to be like there for you in your
So,
situations.
yeah.
So you just have a general thing about not being a burden.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, well, not a burden to me, first of all. Is I'm here for you to use as a tool and talk about all of this stuff. Um, so have you tried in the past? Have you had any issues with socializing in the past, or like feelings of being a burden?
Well, like, I traveled a lot and I moved around a lot, so I was kind of like in and out of school, not really in cliques or anything. Like, I did not have a stable education, social upbringing from like kindergarten to like fifth grade. And then by the time I got to like where I'm from, everyone had cliques. It's really a like, if you didn't grow up in that town, they don't like outsiders. So I was really kind of like off put from that. So like I jumped around to like many different social groups and I just never fit in anywhere. So then transferring that to college, this is the third college I've been to. So I've continued that trend that I didn't want to do, and now I'm just like, I'm about to graduate, I'm gonna move on to graduate school. I'm like, I want to have friends, but at the same time, I'm like, what's kind of the point to network if this isn't where I want to go to like graduate
Okay.
school at? And I'm like, and I don't know if they're gonna continue being my friends after it. So it's kind of like, I don't have a lot of the social things that like my siblings do because they had kind of more stability doing that. So
Okay.
it's been an ongoing struggle, but I figured once I got into college, I could have kind of that connection. But with COVID and everything, like I really just don't.
That makes sense. So you had, as a kid, you were kind of forced to leave and move around and not get those deep connections that it probably feels like to you everyone else got. I can tell you right now, not everyone did. It's not just you. And then it kind of transitioned into college with you. Is there a specific reason that you moved around in college? Or
So-
was that just you?
I got into a situation at the last university I was in where it was basically I had to move for my safety.
Okay.
And then instead of switching to this university, I went to a community college back from where I'm from. And then my mom kind of paired me with my younger sibling, and we came here as a unit together. And I've had the same situations happen again at this school that I moved from. So that's the main key point of like why I've moved out with my sibling, where we have an apartment together, just because I don't have that trust with other people. Even like the small relationships I've built, just based on past experiences to live with them. So like that's also kind of where I've like drawn in, because I'm like I've tried to make friends, I've tried to like be outgoing,
Yeah.
and then it's always like backfired. So I'm just like, yeah, no.
So in childhood, it was more of a matter of being forced to move around based on family matters, and then now in college, it's become a safety issue.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And do you right now feel safe?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I'm living with my siblings, so like I've got that, but he's out doing stuff, like doing normal college stuff, and I'm like, oh, I can come around and hang out with it, but I don't want to take his friendships and like make them mine. So I'm just like, I've thought about going and hanging out with him, doing some stuff, but then I'm just like, no, I'm just gonna let him have this, and I'll deal with my stuff on my own. Kind of like becoming that burden again. So
Yeah, this is where we circle back to
Yeah.
the being a burden. But I really think you need to start thinking of yourself as less of a burden, more of just like you're a person. Humans are a very social species, you know, like we need social connections, and we can. You feel like you're a burden because you have your own issues. You most likely won't overcome those issues without having connections with other people, without being able to go and reach out to someone and get their support. We can't pull ourselves out of those holes. We need support. You know, we need someone to throw down the rope, and so we can climb it up. And I think you really need to start kind of just opening up. I know it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to just say, okay, I'm fine now. I'm going to not worry about any of this. But maybe start with, you know, one person and try again, and not keep in the back of your head like, what if this happens again? What if this happens again? What if this happens again? And that will be something that we work towards in these sessions. We will try and work on your feelings of possibly being like secure in yourself and being like, okay, I am not a burden to these people. They don't know me. I mean, when you meet them in person, they don't know you have all this stuff going on. They don't know. You can gradually get into that and connect with this person before you even have to include them in any of your bigger issues. And if you don't want to, you don't ever have to include them. If you feel like it's not appropriate, you don't have to. So I think in these sessions, I think we're gonna set a goal, and we're gonna work towards that goal. And I was wondering if do you have any input into what you want that goal to be?
I guess just like maybe joining another club, like trying to stay more in contact, making time, so I can reach out to my friends that are here on campus and kind of like try to do something with them, like at least once a week, or like time permitting, to where like I'm getting out, I'm still socializing with people outside of my family, and then you know, maybe doing stuff with them too.
So our goal will be to really give you that confidence to go out and take it one step at a time. You know, like don't immediately be the most social person ever, but start with small things. Talk to that one person in your class. Go outside your family a little bit. And I think that is something we together can collaborate on and work on and get you to that goal. All right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it looks like we're almost out of time. Are there any more things I haven't addressed, or you would like to talk about? Anything in the contract that stood out to you that you would like to kind of go over?
No, I just like I think there's a lot of things that I'm gonna talk, or I'm gonna think about like for the next session, based on like what we've talked about today, to where I can, you know, maybe bring up some more things that we can plan for, and you know, I guess from this moment try to like slowly work on, you know, my insecurities.
Take it one step at a time. Don't have it become overwhelming. And you're not alone. I am a support tool for you. Okay? And then we will have a lot of time together to talk about these things. Don't feel rushed into it. We will have multiple sessions to talk about all of this. Okay? Awesome. So, do you have any more questions?
No.
Awesome. So we will get you set up for a meeting next week, and then we can talk about this more next week and really get going and make a plan to reach your goal.